This story happened in my grandma's house. The main character is my uncle. He was a good student. After graduation, he was assigned to the county agricultural machinery factory, which was a pretty good job in those days. Usually he lived in the dormitory, because it was a hassle to get home. But that time was different. Grandma was celebrating her birthday, so Grandpa called and asked him to come back. You have to take a bus from the county to Grandma's house. It takes about an hour and a half. Then you have to take the mountain road. Uncle was on the last bus that day, and it was dark when he walked up the mountain road. He was walking with his head down when he saw a man walking up the hill. Uncle stopped because there was something strange about him. His head was hanging down, a little flat, and he was wobbling towards him. When he got closer, he saw that half of his head was gone, a bloody mess. I don't know what happened after that. Besides, it was already 10 o'clock, but he didn't come back. My aunt went out with a flashlight to meet him. When she got to the village entrance, she saw a man walking towards the village, and by the look of him, it was my uncle. Auntie complained that he was late, but my uncle didn't say anything. She took a look at his face and was shocked. My uncle's head was hanging down. The left corner of his eye and his face were drooping. Auntie took him home. He was like that when I saw him. His face scared the whole family. My grandpa knew a lot about it. He thought he was possessed. When he said that, everyone in the family thought so. Otherwise, a normal person wouldn't be like that. At this time, when something like this happened, they'd go to my mom's seventh granduncle. She could read the situation. My great-aunt's husband drove my great-aunt to pick up my seventh grandma. She's over 70 years old and her legs on her. She sat in the back seat and my great-aunt helped her to Grandma's house. She brought nothing but a whip for her cows. She went to her uncle's bed as if she was talking to someone else. After a few words, she threw a whip to deter him. After a few soft words, Uncle suddenly sat up. In another man's voice, he said he wanted to go home to see his children. He said he was from a neighboring village and was working outside, but his daughter-in-law had given birth, and he had rushed back overnight, and it was raining. The road was muddy. He fell down a slope and hit a rock. He hit a rock and half of his face was ruined. He never saw his child again. Uncle's grandmother asked her to find a car. She took him to the place the neighboring village told her about. She told his daughter-in-law that she wanted him to look at the child, but she was half convinced and looked at him with fear. Seeing that he was holding the baby and refusing to put it down, she asked him to leave quickly. His daughter-in-law came forward and took the baby away from him. When he looked at his daughter-in-law and the child and didn't want to go, the seventh maternal uncle's wife raised her whip and started to shoo him away. Uncle's body went limp and he fell down, so his great-aunt and her husband rushed forward to support him. Uncle's face returned to its original state, and he couldn't remember what had happened. He only remembered seeing the man on the hill, and his seventh aunt gave the boy a red envelope and a peace talisman, and that was the end of it.